One of those sounds.
Yeah. You like those flowers, huh?
Hey, do you know this cat? What's his name? Lucky. Lucky. Yeah, we regard this as Cat Street.
I think we've seen 5 different cats on this street. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, she's getting territorial. Hey, she was hissing at you. What's that all about? Bobby was the first cat that I'd ever had that couldn't be allowed to graze. You couldn't just let him eat because he would just eat and not stop. So what we did was we put him on a portion control. So we just started measuring how much food we were giving him. And we got it down to giving him a 1/4 cup or 1/3 of a cup in the morning and the evening, and 1/3 of a can of wet food at dinner time, and then 4 snack breaks that he would get 7 pieces of kibble, and he would get 5 to 10 treats at the end of playtime. And you can see he's at a healthy weight because when you look down at him from above, you can see a slight indentation in his waist, or at least he's straight up and down. As long as I see that, I'm not concerned about his weight. But a short-haired cat, and you look at the sides and you see that they're bulging out, you've got a situation where the cat is overweight. With long-haired cats, you can't really tell just by looking at them because the fur impedes your view of their figure, but if you pat them along the side, you can feel the ribs, the waist, the hips, and you can tell whether or not they have that type of figure. And if you feel a bulge between the ribs and the hips, or if you don't really feel the ribs, then the cat's overweight. Now, you may not think that your cat being overweight is a cause for concern. Only 10% of North American cats are actually just overweight. Almost 50% of them are obese. And if your cat's obese, it's 3 times more likely to die after the age of 8 than a cat that's a healthy weight. And if your cat doesn't fall into the obese category, that's a good thing, but you don't want them to continue to gain weight. And that's when you want to kick in portion control so that you can catch it at an early stage where it's easy to manage.
Measuring the food is always a good way to deal with that problem. So if you're giving them a cup, you might want to reduce it to 7/8, but you never reduce it much. You always just take a little bit out until you've reached your goal, say of 7/8, and then you run with that for a while and weigh them and see if they're losing weight, gaining weight, or staying the same. The key thing is to be consistent. Feed at the same time and have a good play before you feed them too, because that gets them all ruckused out and they're ready to eat after that.
If your cat is having a hard time with their food being reduced, it's good to give them extra play time, to try brushing them, giving them additional attention. Their stomach will shrink and they'll get comfortable with it. When you're doing portion control, it's important to take into account everything that you feed your cat. If you feed your cat table scraps or treats, those are other things that you have to take into consideration when you're reducing the cat's portions. Treats especially are very high in calories. If you're feeding your cat a mixed diet and you're feeding them wet and dry cat food, it's easier to cut back on the dry food. Probably better for them to do that because the wet food provides them with both moisture and protein. Cats need animal protein. It's very important that they have a reasonable quantity of that in their diet. So if you do get your cat to a healthy weight using portion control, there are some real benefits to it. Your cat will be more active. They will be healthier. They will have fewer illnesses, and in all likelihood, they will live longer.
Like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Don't miss an episode of BobCat's Playground. Help us change the world, one cat at a time. BobCat's Playground is produced by Edit Extreme. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not intended to replace professional advice. Find out more at editextreme.com.